It's a new noise to start a new show, and it's another blah blah show, which means we're sitting down with someone. Sitting down with someone to have a bit of a chit chat and a bit of a catch up. Not just me. Again, thankfully, I've got another friend with me, a good friend of mine. His name is Dave Southall. Say hello, Dave.
Hello, everybody.
And joining me and Dave tonight, we've got someone from the very start, from what 2011, the very start. One of the founders. I don't know what he was thinking when they came up with this idea, but they did. They came up with the Year of Shame. He's here with us tonight. His name is Cy Stevens. Give it up for Cy, everybody.
Yay!
How you doing, guys?
Hey, it's great to have you here, Cy. Now, we got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot to go over. It has been 10 years. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I know that you're a busy man. You travel about, so thank you for giving us some time.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's like I getting back to recording something and back in the saddle, and it's good to be here. 10 years though.
10 years. Do you remember what you were doing 10 years ago, Dave?
I can barely remember what I was doing 10 hours ago.
I know what I was doing 10 years ago. I was having stupid ideas for podcasts.
Yeah.
That leads me very nicely onto the first question that I would like to know is, how did this whole concept come about?
Well, actually, it's Darren and Matthew's fault. 10 years ago, they did a thing, and if you remember your cast your minds back, Darren did like a 24-hour stream for, was it Special Effect? And he you guys put it out to the community for the community to try and raise money and do things I think it was by playing the worst game on your pile. And that's what I did. I played, what was it? Rock Manager, which was like a god-awful $4.99 Curry's DVD jobby that had sat on my shelf that must be a good part of 20 years that had never been played. And I did that, and then I thought, well, how can I raise some more money? It's like, I'm going to just go the whole hog and go a year without playing games. And I was trying to get some sponsorship for that. And Darren, D5120, went, that sounds like a podcast. And then it kind of snowballed, and we continually found hosts to continue the tradition.
Mate.
I'm not sure if that was a veiled insult there.
So who were your hosts? Who did you champion with?
So it was me, it was Darren, D5120, and Jay Stokes, who did it twice. And then we brought every lottery winner's friend in with Terry Fox.
Little nod and a wink there.
And he did the because that was where the little avatars were born, weren't it? The caricatures.
Mm-hmm. I can't. Yeah, that was Terry. Terry was the one that did all the caricatures for us.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit about your gaming background? Sorry, I mean, what did you grow up playing? You know, what you involved?
So I grew up on. I'm trying to remember what the name of it was, and Digi will be screaming at his iPod and his phone right now because he had one as well, and it was a console that you plugged into the TV, and it had 32 different editions of Pong on it.
Oh, like a grandstand type thing.
Yeah, it was something like that. I'm sure it was. I can't remember what the code of it was. We found out me and Digi both had it, and it was like reminisced about how many ways you can play the same game. But then my big one was like the Commodore 64. Played that to high heaven, just sitting there waiting 20 minutes for a tape to stop playing and hope the game loaded before then. Went there, stayed at Commodore 64 for so long. It was like, I can't remember much when I was young, but then I went I had a Master System briefly, and then a Super Nintendo. And this was back when everyone remembers they were young. So like you got your console for Christmas, and you might have got a game off your granny or your parents for your Christmas, and then you're not going to get another one until your birthday. It's like, so you had to make the right choice. And I remember that this is so much with mine. It was like the Super Nintendo. It came with Super Mario World, and I just played that time. And then my birthday rocked around 3 months later, and it's like I decided to get Super Mario Paint. And this
I'm not sure that was the best choice.
It came with a mouse and mouse mat. It's like, this is unheard of in consoles. It's going to be the best game in the world. It was the shitest game in the world. It's like, it wasn't even a game you could... It was MS Paint for SNES, and it came with a fly swat game. That was it. And my birthday's in March. My next game's not rocking around till December again now. So 9 months I was swatting flies.
Made it in man you are today.
Do you have a copy of any of your masterpieces you created on there? There must be one knocking around.
Mate, my ability of drawing is like stickmen, and even then it's debatable if it's a stickman. It's like, it's just, yeah, it's not the best choice. And then where did I go from the SNES? So I think I've had every console released in the UK. I had a Amiga CD32.
Wow.
That got me addicted to Wing Commander in itself.
Yeah, great game.
Because that came with that, and then of course you bought the consoles, and I got that from Rumbelows when they were closing down from a granny. Like,
I've not thought about Rumbelows, and this is the perfect podcast to be talking about Rumbelows. I wish Neale was here.
That's where Matthew's next purchase is coming from. This is where he's going to break into his budget. He's going to hire from Rumbelows.
If they offer a subscription service, Matthew's there.
He's still paying it. He started in 1976.
From there, it's like, then I remember having the PS1, got to the PS1, and then I remember I got the PS2, and I got the PS2 on launch. This was unheard of. I must have been about 15, 16, and it was a game online. This was just when the internet was starting. And I played a game online for hours, and I used to do it the old CompuServe. You know, we used to sign up for a free session on CompuServe.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you did that every night, put in the wrong bank details and a different address, you've got another night's free internet.
Was CompuServe the one where they allocated you a number? You didn't make up your own alias?
Yeah.
It's just like a string of numbers at CompuServe is my account. Nice.
Yeah, that's the one. So we did that, and it's like, I think the website was called Jamba or something like that, and it was like a little slot machine game, and it's like, I got an email notification, you've won a prize, and it's like, here I am expecting like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire DVD coming through post, and it's a check for $1,000, and it's like the same week the PS2 gets released, and it's just like, cha-ching.
Oh, wow.
And it's like 15-year-old me was just like bouncing off the walls. And so that was the PS2, and then it just kicked on.
So did you go balls deep and spend $1,000 on all the accessories and a bunch of controllers and the vertical stand and shit?
Oh, mate, I had everything. It was like, on day one, I had the Star Wars game, the controller, the memory card that was something stupid, like £32 for an 8 megabyte memory card. It was like, I was all balls deep into that one. Money, no object. Happy days.
So, moving on from that then. So, how did you get involved with the Midlife Gamer community?
That's Ad's fault. I had an Xbox 360, and I just got a Kinect, and it's like, my living room was super tiny, and I just picked up the Zyko zoom lens.
Oh, was that the thing that like shortened the throw of the lens, so you didn't need a giant American living room?
Yeah, you guys just clipped it onto the front of it, and that was it. It was there. You and then it thought you had a far bigger room than you did. Yeah. And Ad was just like, oh, I'd love to see words about this. So that was it. I wrote words and sent it to Mr. Giddens. He published it, and it just took on from there. Then a couple of months later, Greg was looking for writers, I applied to him, and he was like, "Yep, come on board." And then I did that for about a year, and then Greg left, and I was looking for an editor, and I just fired Darren an email and went, "This is what we need to do with the website for like reviews and that." And all of a sudden, I was the editor, contributing editor for Midlife.
You touched it last.
Yeah.
I mentioned something about a dental plan, and then that was it. I was fully on board.
Christ, do you remember how difficult that website was to manage?
Mate, how many hours we spent changing one image on a carousel, which then took the website down, and it's like, well, we'll change that back, and then you change it back to what it was, and it didn't work, and it's like, no. Yeah, the carousel was the bane of my life for God knows how many years. And then there was the other one that we all loved was when we wrote a review and we didn't put a tagline in it, and if you didn't put a tagline in it,
it just covered the
tagline didn't appear on the
yeah. The whole background was just the review was the whole way. Oh, fucking hellfire. Who did put the tagline in?
Fantastic.
The tagline was like the tweeting from the master account. You know, someone was going to do it at some point.
Oh, mate. Well, do you know what? Thank you. Thank you for all the hard work. And you continue. Well, you would continue to be doing that if we still had a website. You'd still be badgering us all to go like, are we doing something with this or what?
Yeah. It was like everyone was like, I've got most of it sorted out now. We gonna go live with it? No, well, maybe we should. Maybe we shouldn't. No. Got a new review.
I don't do.
It's like
I think I have a backup, and I think I downloaded everything. I FTP'd the whole contents of everything once, and it exists somewhere. I should, I don't know. I should frame that.
It does exist on my hard drive as well. I think I did exactly the same thing when we were thinking about maybe like going, let's just go full on Facebook, and I was like, let's just FTP everything onto the hard drive, because you never know, might come in handy at some point when someone wants a review of a choice.
Sorry, I won't leave this in the show, but I just remembered that I think the last time I heard from you in a formal capacity, you were going like, something wrong with the email addresses. Someone told me that they got an auto bounce back, and I was like, oh yeah, we just took the whole thing down. Sorry. Should have mentioned that. You still using it?
Whoops. That's how he pays his bills and utilities.
I remember that. It's surprised, because when we did that, we closed it down. When we went full on Facebook, we decided to because Facebook did a really nice thing to start with. It was like you could write reviews on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I think we've got like 10 or 15 on like the Midlife Gamer Facebook page, not the group.
Yeah.
Where it was like we could actually write a review, and it worked so nicely. So I started firing out emails to all the PR companies with like Gmail accounts. And like last October, it was like the guy from Sega messaged me. He's gone, it's this time of year again. Do you want a review code of like Football Manager? And it's like, I wouldn't say no, but I've got nowhere to put it, mate. It's like, where are we going to go with that? And he's like, well, do you still want it? And I'm like, well, you're not going to get a review out of it. We've got lots of them. Well, okay, then might as well, you know.
That's crazy.
He's twisting my arm.
Yeah, and then that just ruined my last year of gaming, was like getting that review code.
I just got totally hooked on Football Manager.
Oh, mate, it's like crack to me. It's like I have Excel sheets, and as much as I don't want to, I'm like, I'm just going to play it. I'm just going to see what it's like. I won't go balls deep into it. 2 hours later, I've got a spreadsheet that's got macros in it, working out which player in my squad knows what better, and why would he be able to cross it, and it's like something football, and it's just like, fuck me, where did those last 2 months go? It's December now.
That is dedication, writing macros in a spreadsheet for a game.
That's it. I don't think the guys that make some of these games put as much effort into what I do to play their game.
I've never done that. I just wing it. Talking about games anyway, going back to when you started it, can you remember sort of how big your pile was in comparison?
Yeah, mate, it was. I. It's nothing compared. Like when looking back at 10 years, some of the boys and girls that have come on followed me, and they like we didn't go in emulators, and I remember we skipped Steam.
What?
But even still, and it's like I had something like 300-400 games, and it was over plus over games of gold and physical. It was, I had shelves of games. It was unreal.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I came to
Because of course it would have been
Xbox.
90% physical then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, I came to the Xbox 360 party really late because I was like Sony through and through from PS1, PS2, PS3.
How many games did you say was on the pile then, Si?
It was about 400, I would say, easily 400. Just over different like mediums. Yeah, easily, and it's like that's what it was. It was almost intervention like.
So, Si, I've just worked out then that your pile was effectively 40 Danny DeVito's high. You'll be glad to know.
Yes.
As you know, we measure on the DeVito scale on this
On
show.
the DeVito scale, it's a valid measurement. I'm expecting like the UK government to take it on with a braking distance of a car travelling at 30 miles per hour. Is
In
18
DeVito's. Perhaps that's one thing we should get Joe to mock up. You know how he loves his crisp packets. You could take the Doritos packet and turn them into DeVitos. Okay, so you had about 400 games on the pile, and how many do you recall you got through in the year?
Oh, I went brutal at one point. Remember, we were the first, so we were like, it was a learning curve. I mean, we had Love Film and Blockbuster post at that point.
Yes.
And it was like, we started with the subscription service, and it was like, by month 2 ago, all of us were going, is that cheating? Really? It's like, it's not making it a challenge because you can still get the games and you're not paying for them.
That sounds familiar.
I mean, to be fair, the only one that really went balls deep on that was Darren, because he went like, there's nothing. I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting games. I'm not getting tech, nothing. But yeah, so we started cancelling those subscriptions as well. And once that stopped, and then I had PSN, it was PlayStation Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So I subscribed to that, and it ran out after a few months. And it's like, once that went, it's like, well, I'm not going to reactivate this because that defeats the point of the challenge. So like, when the instant game collection started, that's when I started subscribing to it. So I had all of them. So that was probably about another 100 games just went off my pile instantly. And then I got married that year as well. So it's like, I was trying to make as much money. So I was just like, I'm not playing these games. And it's like, we obviously had the scale of the class 2 being the Matthew. And it's like, we were playing it in, plug it in, 20 minutes. Are you going to play that? No. And it's like, it's not grabbing me. And it was like, well, we're just going to flog it on eBay then. And it's like, this was before the whole, if you've not played something for 6 months, get rid of it and it's not making you happy, go with it. And that's what I did. So I blitzed a lot, but not through completion as much.
Right. Yeah, class 5.
It's a perfect way of doing it as well. Like, do you know what I mean? If this doesn't bring me joy, fuck it off. And this was probably back in the day where it was easier to sell your second-hand games. There was less of a digital copyright confusion. Just fucking bang it in.
You can put one game on eBay and it's like, all of a sudden it's like up at 13, 14, 15 pounds. And it's like, ooh, that's
better than sitting there doing
that's
fuck
a game
all.
called £2.
Yeah, I suppose. I've never done that. I've barely traded anything ever. I couldn't tell you what you get for it or anything. That's hence.
Trading's never been a big thing for me because like the nearest trader is like 120 miles away.
I see your issue.
I once
This is what caused the problem. I could buy the games, I couldn't sell the games.
I once took a sack full of used DVDs and 360 games and shit like that into I forget which one it would have been, CEX, something like that, before the day. And I looked, and I was just like, look, bag it all up, and they gave me like 60 quid or something. I was looking at the receipt afterwards. I was like, Halo 3, 50p. 50p.
Yeah. I did that with, Music Magpie. I sold my entire bookshelves and bookshelves of DVDs. And I got something like 17 quid for like 8 boxes of DVDs. It was just a complete waste of time.
It's like it's cost you 20 quid to post it all down to them.
No, at least they had the decency to come and pick it up. And then they ran, I noticed, when they got outside the door. Anyway, so what would you say was the highlight of your year of shame?
I've been trying to think back. It's like, as soon as we said we were going to all meet up and do this, I was like, what has been my highlight? And it's like, my biggest highlight is this. It's 10 years later and we're still doing this. And it's like, it was the idea that we came out with on a like stupid idea that was never supposed to last more than a year. This was supposed to be a limited series, one and done. And it's just got carried on. So that's been my big highlight, is that we're still doing it, you know? And it's like, but from like a proper person, the highlight of the show, that if you have to like do a sizzle reel of each year, our year probably has to be Terry's millionaire lottery with a friend just going, oh, I won the lottery, you want the game?
Unreal.
It's like, yeah, I think let him off with it. It's like, you can't make that shit up. Surely.
That is crazy.
I also remember, like, I got so much of it, and I was chuckling myself when you were all abusing Neale for, like, the Witch Queen.
Oh, you can't abuse Neale. And I think like kicking a puppy.
And I think you'll find me and Joe just sort of sat there as quiet as can be.
And it's like, I totally agree with Neale. It's like, he hasn't broken any rules, but I'm like, yeah, Neale, fucking take it. Do you know how much shit I got for being the editor and having to do a review? And it's like, I always edit. I got reviews. That was how I technically failed the challenge, was that I was doing review copies for Midlife Gamer. And it's like, when I was as the editor, I always hated getting review copies. I always tried to do the games I didn't want to do, I wouldn't like, or because there was so much. But we were in the golden age of gaming when we started. Every one of us is going to say that we had the hardest year, but we had the golden age of gaming. And it's like, I reviewed, and this was what was Family Guy, Hitman Absolution, and WWE 2K14, and it's like, that's not too bad, that's a good thing. And then I looked at what games were released that month, and it was like Little Big Planet karting, Rayman Origins, Angry Birds Star Wars, Thomas Was Alone, COD Blocks 2, Lego Lord of the Rings, Assassin's Creed 3, Darksiders 2, Family Guy, The Hitman, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, The Walking Dead Episode 5 of Season 1, Ratchet and Clank, Far Cry 3, Guardians of Middle-earth, and Uncharted 5 for Fortune. And we all had review code for every one of them. And it was just like, me, Digi, and Matt Jones were just going, how the fuck are we going to do this?
Yeah, can we start the website up again if we get all these review codes? We'll start it January the 1st, 23.
I think I did.
And it's like,
I didn't really benefit out of that much, except for I think one time you hit me up one day, Si, a couple of years ago. You're like, I've got this random PS4 version of GTA 5 if you want it. I'm like, yeah. And I never played. I think I played it once because I played the poker in game was up for a different reason. But I was like, well, why would you have that for nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like, I always try to occasionally give you boys like like a Christmas present or a review code or something. It's like, I remember you were tweeting about, it's like, I would love to have GTA 5, but I just can't justify having getting it again. And it's like, I can't believe you didn't double dip on something. And it's just like, I was sitting there and it's like, I've got the review code and we'd already reviewed it. And we wasn't getting the review code. We were pushing for it and pushing it. We wasn't getting it. And then I think it was Digi dropped on it. So we just went, oh, we'll just do it off our own back. And he reviewed it off his own back. And then the review went live. And then Rockstar came to us and went, do you want a review code? There you go. And then the guys that they had, the PR company, sent it a copy in the post as well. And we were like, well, now we've got 3 bloody copies of this. What? Matt, do you want a copy?
How mad is it to think that another version of that has just been released, of GTA 5, the remaster? Unbelievable.
Wow.
The game that never stops
Mental,
coming.
It's like all the effort they've made on remastering the games. We could have had GTA 6 like 5 years ago.
Could have had a table tennis game.
In so much. Oh yeah, Rockstar table tennis class.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I suppose then
People bought that because there was nothing else out, wasn't there? There's nothing else out. Fuck it, I'll get a table tennis
bought
game.
that because I've got a copy of it on the shelf downstairs.
Do you remember this? And this is when I was going through. I was going through the list of like what was released in the year that we did it, and it was like I went to January and it was like 3 games. And it's like, okay, there's nothing there, and February there's nothing there. And I was trying to scratch my head on what I was used my Joker for. And I was going for it and I was like, there was no games released. What? How did we even get away with making a podcast about this? And then October hit and it was just like all of the games. And it's like, yeah, I remember this. It's like, there was nothing for like 6 months. Eurogame happened. And then everyone released games in like a 3-month period.
A bit like February, just gone.
Yeah.
Most crazy month I can remember since about 98.
Yeah, it's been mental at times. And that was the other thing that's happened. Like I was looking at, our year was slightly different as well because we went Eurogamer to Eurogamer. We didn't start our challenge in a year, so we actually started in, I want to say October or November 2012 to like the Eurogame that happened in 2013. So it's like, and I remember it being that because we finished in October and the PlayStation 4 released on November 2013, and that was our big crescendo. That's what we were all working towards, was the PS4 release and all the goodness that came with, and clearing the piles ready for the new iterations of the same games.
That's mad, isn't it? Because you don't really get that now, do you? Because it's backwards compatible. You don't really get the old clear the decks, here comes the new stuff. It's more like, here's a slightly shinier version of what you've got.
Yeah, everything still works, and it's just shinier.
Yeah.
Would you like to pay £500 for that extra shiny edition? Of course we do.
You had an interesting experience today, I believe, didn't you, Si? Trying to spend £500.
Yeah, so to cut a long story short, it's like I got made redundant at the end of the last month, and I got a nice little wedge of money. And my boys come up to me and go, "Can I get a PlayStation 5?" And it's like, fucking dad's not got a PlayStation 5. What's going on here? Like, you got a PC? And it's like, okay, I can't counter argue that. Okay, right. I'll tell you what, you've been good, you've done well at school, all blah blah blah, all the good parenting stuff. It's like, you can get a PS5, but it's not rocking up to the shop and getting a PS5. And yeah, so I'm in training for my new job right now, and I was literally sat in the training room in a queue for the PS5 on the Sony Direct drop, and I was in the queue, got to the front of the queue, put the PlayStation 5 in the basket, put my payment details in, put the address details in, confirm the payment, and it just went, "No, you've got too many versions of that in your basket." And it's like, I've got one fucking PlayStation, Sony. What are you playing at? The only thing I can think of is they looked at it and went, "John O'Groats, we ain't fucking delivering that in 5 days."
Your postage will be £300.
And that was it. And it's just like I end up, it just the basket expired. It put me to the back of the queue. The queue was over an hour. Then it went cha-ching. It's there. We've got no PlayStations again. It's just like, oh,
Nightmare.
so close.
So, Si, did your experience change how you approach things after your year of shame? Did it affect your spending habits in the end?
Well, I got married. That probably changed my spending more than the year of shame challenge. I want to say, I do want to say yes. I want to say it works. I want to say that we do this and we come out better people, but the fuck all's changed. I'm just as bad. It's like I went out and I bought a PC last year, just before lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we finished the first lockdown. I bought a PC and I was like, oh, come on, Boris, we need another lockdown here. I've got a PC here I need some time on. And Boris did something right and he gave us another lockdown. And he's like, all right, okay, I can rack on with the PC. So what's the first thing you do? He's like, what can you do? Well, I need some games for that. And that's Steam. And it's like, oh, everyone goes, oh, you're full victim to Steam, mate. I got like bent over my computer desk and raped by Steam. It's like, I think I bought games I hadn't played, games I wanted to play, games that I've had before, and games that I've had before. It's like, Matthew, you've got nothing. Everyone picks on Matthew. I can tell you. I mean, granted, I've never double dipped on the same Game Pass subscription service, but I have bought Skyrim on every iteration, and I do fuck all on Skyrim. It's like I go on Skyrim and it's like what I discovered was you can play the tutorial level of Skyrim and then you can sneak. And then you can sneak to your village and then you can buy stuff in that village. And if you sneak to the next village, you can then sell some of that stuff and then craft some stuff. And then you can sneak to a third village and you've got a nice little loop. If you turn right as you come out of the tutorial, you've got a free village loop.
Are you
and if
playing
you sneak
Skyrim like Elite? Just buying it one place and selling it the next.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's like you have played Skyrim for 100 hours. Your sneak is at 100. Your crafting is at 100. Your quest completion is fuck all, mate. You've done one quest. It's like I think I've seen one dragon, and I think I ran away from that because I was too busy crafting something. And so, I've like bought that on everything. I've bought that on Xbox 360. I bought that on PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4. I've now bought it on Steam. I'm never playing this game. I know I'm never going to play this game. I've loaded up and go, it's going to be different this time. Focus. Be focused. Play the game. Play the main quest. Don't worry about your side quests. Play the main quest. Get the game done. Put it on that completion pile. Feel proud of yourself. Oh, sneaky, 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 sneaky. Bye, bye. Sell, sell, craft, craft. Oh, look, there's another 100 hours gone. And it's like, yeah, I would love to say it works. No, I'm just as bad as ever. It's like, I've got a 2 terabyte drive on my PC full of games. And I've just gone and dropped on another 2 terabyte M2 card just to buy some more games later when I get home.
That leads me on to the next question then, which would be, would you do it again? Because it sounds like you need to do it again, Si.
Well, I was tempted. I was like thinking, oh, it's 10 years. I could. It's like I could go there and I could be like the poster boy of everything that fucks up and doesn't work. Do I know any lottery winners? Not really. I'm going to be. And it's like I know I'm not going to stick to it. I can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it physically. Be able to do it anymore because that PC is just burning and burning hot. And people buy me credits like, oh, let's buy Simon a gift. What does he want? Don't know. Let's buy him some Steam credit. And it's like I'm at the point now. It's like I can't physically buy any games because I can't install them. But oh look, there's a Steam Deck. I've got some credit towards that now. I could.
Oh my god.
No, not at all. I couldn't do it again. I would love to. I'd love to be able to just have the once a month recording a podcast, just getting some beers, chatting like this for like hours. It's like I was the worst one on the podcast. Like everyone else is like, yeah, let's do a podcast, get it into an hour. And I'm like, well, I've got 3 or 4 hours spare. I live in John O'Groats. It's not like I'm going to be doing much.
You'll get your telescope out looking for your PS5 delivery.
I see no ships.
Bless you. That's all the questions I've got written down. So I realise I've totally been talking over the top of you again, Matthew. Sorry.
Well, you could admit, you've sit there and read all the questions. You've done all the work, Dave.
Love it.
And I'm a huge fan of this. Thank you very much. We should probably wish some thanks on those who can't be here this evening. Neale, who is moving house, and Joe, who will be with us again soon, hopefully.
I'm just a figment of Neale's imagination. Me and Neale have never been in the same room twice, or on a chat, or an online gaming session. Neale doesn't think I exist.
Is this some sort of alter ego thing? Is this like Clark Kent and Superman, or?
Right, Neale, he can't rock up to a postcard. He puts on a lot of weight, gets a Cockney accent, swears a lot. I suppose swears a lot's not really a good clue. And he turns into me. This is why we never see us together.
That's a terrifying thought.
Will be solved.
And then if you guys can actually convince Neale that he actually recorded the podcast tonight, and it was just the three of you. I don't remember that. No, you kept saying you're Simon.
We've got the
He
video
likes to
recorded.
drink, but I think we'd have trouble convincing him that.
Oh, right. Should we think about getting out of here?
Yeah.
All right. Before we do go, Si, are you pimping anything? Are you hanging out anywhere? What are you up to?
I'm mainly hanging out in like Midlife gamer community. That's probably where you find me more often than not, and occasionally. No, not really. I don't pimp much out. I gave up. I did what we all do, I gave up social media. I discovered Twitter was a thing still the other day. Don't pimp anything. I just live the quiet life, buying lots of digital games that I can't sell to anyone because they're digital. And
to a lot of people, you're very much living the dream. A lot of people in the big cities would love to get out to John O'Groats and just sit back with a Steam problem.
Steam problem.
Steam. But the thing is, it's like you buy a game on Steam, it's like everyone else downloads it in like a matter of minutes, and it's like I'm still here a week later. I remember we were playing Gears and Beers one night, so I forgot to download Gears, and Neale was on his way, and it's like, so this is obviously our paths can't cross, and it's like, all right, I'll just start downloading it, and everyone else is downloading it. It's like, what you at? So I'm at 0.05%. And when are you due to be like finished down at Christmas?
Oh my god!
Is that really?
Yeah, my fat pipe.
Is that? I was thinking about being out there. Has that really sort of like hampered your your gaming enjoyment?
It does. Yes and no. It's like I don't have to worry about like getting online and like getting shot in the face by teenage kids and
Phil
that like screwing my mum over, and it's like. Because it's like I just can't get it. My lag, my ping is like the ping doesn't even register a number. It's I just get dashes on my ping.
It's the hieroglyphics.
It's like, I mean, my fat pipe is full fiber, and I'm getting 16 meg.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Oh dearie dearie. I feel very bad for moaning about having to pay more than I expected for what 300.
Yeah, that's just a dream. So it's like it kind of does. The whole downloading part of it is, and maybe like the online game. It's like when I really want to sit there on a Friday and play Gears and Beers, and I've been on like the chat a couple of times, and it's like that's all I'm doing is like I'm coming onto the online party chat for a couple of beers because it's just like going to the pub because I'm not downloading that game. If anyone makes a choice, like a last minute choice, it's like nah, that's not happening.
Plus, if someone's streaming it, you could always sort of like be half watching a bit behind while also joining in so you can still see some of the action.
Yeah, this is it. It's like watching people play. It's just as good a time, especially if you've not been on Gears and Beers. You've got to get on Gears and Beers because even if you can't get on a game, just listening to the banter and the crack that we have on Gears and Beers is just
It's the best.
Absolutely phenomenal.
That is my major social night now. That is Fridays, Gears and Beers night. It's the best. We went on tour last week. Oh, I'll talk about that in the show. Just as a side note, in the chat, Sorry, do you want to read all this out for us? You know, something like this.
Aye.
Actually, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Well, before we let you go, Chief, you need to put a little bit of legwork in and help us out with the domestics.
All right. Okay.
You've got this. You've got this, Si. You never left.
I never left. That's it. The dental plan's back on.
It's just like a secret second interview for phase 3. It's all been a ruse. Darren's over in Atlanta now. He's like, we're about to go live to Darren. Where is he?
For version 3.0 of Midlife Gamer launches next week. Right, so dental plans all reactivated. Okay, we can carry on with this now. So if you're looking for us we're looking for you guys on Spotify. It's Spotify and search for the Year of Shame Challenge. On the Facebook group, it's the HTTP, the www, the bookofface.com groups, and we've got Year of Shame. You just stick Year of Shame there, you'll find it. Of course you will. Email, it's the yearofshame@gmail.com. Twitter, I'll give you 3 guesses. It's @Year of Shame. And of course, you can find us on the Midlife Gamer Discord. And also, you might even find us sneakily on the Midlife Gamer Facebook group as well.
Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Didn't even write that down, yeah? It's up there. Pro, this is.
Just don't mention the carousel.
All right, well, thank you again, Si, for hanging with us. Dave, pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing you. By all accounts, there's so much to catch up on. So, listeners, bear in mind, we will be coming at you like Cleopatra. Look forward to that, won't you? Hey, say goodbye, people.
Hey, absolutely smashed it.